Tailgate Show, the Tailgate Show. And you say Shot City, the Tailgate Show, the Tailgate Show, the Tailgate Show. And you say Shot City, the Tailgate Show, the Tailgate Show, the Tailgate Show. And you say Shot City, the Tailgate Show, the Tailgate Show, the Tailgate Show. And you say Shot City, the Tailgate Show, the Tailgate Show, the Tailgate Show. And you say Shot City, the Tailgate Show, the Tailgate Show, the Tailgate Show.
What is up? Welcome back to another episode of The Tailgate Show. What's going on, boys? What's happening? It's the bye week.
Yay! The offense won't stink this week.
They still might stink.
They still might.
Like, they got to stink on them.
If we can rebuild it.
They got to stink on them that travels beyond the field.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at that dude. I guess there'll be more PS5s in on the 25th. I can't even get my hands on one, man. They got bots and shit. Like, I've tried like 10 times. I get it in my cart and forget it. It's crazy trying to get this PS5, man.
This is the type of thing that we think about on the bye week is, PS5s, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
man.
You probably have a better chance of getting 2 PS5s in a week than the Bears do of scoring 3 touchdowns in a game. Like,
if you do, holler.
Yeah.
Enter Deshaun Kaiser.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, please. I mean,
over
Did
Bray?
they sign him?
No, I think he.
No,
I
it's
don't
just
know
another tryout. Like, so we'll see. See if he gets on the practice squad.
He's 24 years old. I'd take him on the practice squad.
Yeah. Okay, I guess.
He's got good
But
lineage.
that's the thing is, like, we keep saying stuff like that, and you, once again, like, you say stuff like that, and you assume that actually we're going to develop anybody. Like, the practice squad.
I'm thinking for the next coach.
Right. Well, hopefully, I guess, and with the next GM and, like, the next, like, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, we don't develop anybody. So, they're cool if they just have some dude like Tyler Bray who's, like, drinking the Kool-Aid and is all down with the Nagy cult. And he said, and he's really good in the room. Like, that's all they care about. They don't want any competition.
Bray has a strong arm. I just don't think we have the offensive line to even.
But his strong arm. When was it last used? It's been in storage. It's been frozen in carbonite.
Yes.
Like dude was like played at Tennessee like how long ago? Like 10 years ago at this point. Like,
been a minute.
I mean, I think he was like the backup for Peyton Manning. He's fucking so old.
You know who his college receiver was though, right?
T. Higgins.
Cordero Patterson.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, what a reunion.
Hey, I mean, they're trying to use him. He's like 80% of our offense right now.
Cordarrelle, yeah, exactly. That's why Cordarrelle's on Twitter, like, supporting Nagy. Of course you're supporting Nagy. Nagy's about to get Cordarrelle paid.
Yeah, he's
out
got
the
more
frame.
He's got more. Is it just him alone has more return yards than we have rushing yards?
And the entire team's rushing yards. Yeah, the Hogan Johns are talking about that. And it was actually Patrick Manley that tweeted it out.
Good
that
times.
Cordarrelle has more return yards on kickoffs than we have as a team. And it's like 212 rushing attempts. And, dude, like 80 of that is Mitch. Maybe even more.
And
it might even be like 100 of it is Mitch.
At some points in the last game, even though it was brutal, like some of the running game looked better than when Montgomery was in.
But then you would look up and you'd realize that they ran 5 plays. Like there were times where you got kind of hyped, like, oh, look at that, like that worked. Oh, look at that, and then you realize no, that was a 4-play drive. Like they ran.
They started bringing everybody in and bunching everybody, bringing every defender to the. It was just like, what do you?
No, that's what I said. I said the splits were shit. The splits were straight garbage. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm sorry, but the level of incompetence that has been put on this field is such a firing offense, and I don't know how. I don't know how it's not being seen, and I hope that it's being seen. I mean, and this is
Go ahead, finish your statement.
It's just crazy to me. Like I just like it's getting to the point where it's actually offensive. Like the how bad the offense is, and I don't know how the defense is not offended. I mean, apparently we're all supposed to, bow down at the feet of $15 million a year Eddie Jackson because he made a speech in the locker room. Like, oh, what a leader. What a leader. It's like, bro, you make $15 million a year, make a tackle. I don't care about your speeches. You want to make speeches? That's great. I don't need to hear about it. Like, I thought it was Bush of Nagy to mention it, and it's Bush of Nagy to keep taking credit for all of the culture. It's like, bro, they realize you're a clown right now. They just have high character. That's why the culture's good, because you got a bunch of good dudes. I'm not even giving him the credit for the culture anymore.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, Eddie's not the guy that I would go at right now. There's a lot of other.
Yeah, I'm not going at him, but I'm just saying, like, dude has not really lived up to his contract so far. And
That's fair enough.
Like, he's paid now to be a game-changing player. He's not paid to just be some dude.
He's had some game-changing plays that have been called back on bullshit this season, too.
Yeah, well, so what? If my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle. Like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, make plays, bro. He's also dropped picks.
There's a lot of confusion in our defensive backfield for some reason, too. When things,
I think it's because what's his fuck is not a good coach. And they miss Ed Donatel, who's one of the best coaches in in football. Shout out to Ed Donatel.
Oh, there's enough blame to go around. I mean, Jerry, you were talking about our line coach stepping up to be the defensive coordinator if Pagano took over.
He's the only guy. That's
why though. Why though?
He's the only guy that can develop any talent.
Who has he developed?
Jay Rogers.
Who has he developed?
Well, he's got
Urban a thing. He's made McCullers a thing. Let's see.
Not a thing, bro. That's like an imagination.
I kind of see what you're saying.
Bilal Nichols is a thing.
Is he?
Yeah.
Roy Robb.
Thing.
I mean, here's what I'll say about that.
Akeem Hicks and Khalil
I can
Mack.
point to more talent that he is.
But he's not even Khalil Mack's coach. Monachino is his coach.
No, what I'm saying is these are guys.
Rogers doesn't get credit for Mack.
What about Akeem Hicks explosion?
He started balling on the Patriots,
good, but
he was really good.
He was so good on the Patriots they let them.
Listen, we've given Jay Rogers.
Bill Belichick lets people walk that he doesn't want to pay, bro.
What I would say he's good at is they continually throw a lot of different dudes at him. And he manages to make something happen out of it, and I think that's a credit to him. I mean, he gets, but that's also a credit to Pace, and we've mentioned both these things before. I agree.
Those are your linebackers.
I agree. I mean, and Monachino talked.
It's not just our linebackers, though, Jerry. We've been playing 4-3-1,
you're missing Eddie Goldman, who is a stud.
Who actually stepped back in his play. Where was that great coaching then? When he started getting blocked up low by the Raiders.
Yeah, I would say that and I've been a Pagano defender, but I will say that I feel like his ability to make adjustments is not as good as Fangio. Like I don't. Everybody just like, oh, we can't talk about Don Fangio, 2018. Oh, we can't talk about it. But that was something he was much, I think, better at than Pagano is. He made adjustments. Yeah, but I don't think Pagano's bad. Like, I mean, people keep.
No, I don't think he's bad.
I don't think he can play his defense. I don't think.
Well, and I don't think he is. I mean, people have told me that it's not the Fangio scheme anymore, but it sure looks a lot like it. I mean,
Yep.
I mean, he's even
rush four.
Yes. I mean, this is what they do, and people forget all the fourth quarter touchdowns that the defense gave up in 2018.
Yep.
They stopped after like week 10. They really kind of came into their own, but
with Vic, we saw guys actually get better. I mean, look, Kyle Fuller was a guy that we were like, what's going on with him? Vic got to him.
Well, I think there's a certain amount of a lot of people on this team felt like they arrived.
Right,
but I'm blaming the players too. Like let's let's blame the fucking players,
How do we
man.
fix it?
Like,
That's the question. How do we fix
who has gotten better because of their own effort? You know, I think a lot of dudes, including the fans and everybody, felt like they had arrived after 2018, and they just took their foot off the gas, and the sense of urgency stopped, except for a couple of people. Except for, I think, Kyle Fuller's always the same. He's a dog. Yeah. He's always watching endless film. And Akeem Hicks. But I would say, to a man, in 2019, everybody else on that defense felt like, oh, we're good. We got this. We're just this team.
Well, you remember 18, it was 18 against the Vikings where our backups went in and still just dominated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that, like, I don't necessarily give that all to Fangio, although maybe his mentality prevented, his hard-assedness prevented that. But I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of dudes, including Mitch and basically everybody in 2019, thought, oh, we can just show up because we're a kicker away and we got a kicker. I think they all had that mentality.
And now we have a kicker.
And that's fucking what's so amazing, is that, like, now after all this, we got an automatic kicker, but it doesn't fucking matter. This is what I'm saying. Like, it feels like we're cursed.
In some ways, I wonder.
Like,
well, my question I want to ask you guys is, how do you fix it? How do you begin to fix this? Is it fixable? Can you fix this offense to make it something in the last?
So you're talking about get results out of this season, make the playoffs.
You know
what does fix it mean? Make the playoffs?
Yeah,
8-8, 10-6.
Make it.
This is not going to be a popular opinion, but so we bring in DeShone Kizer, right? So basically saying we got some banged up quarterbacks. After everything in the offseason that we saw about how, like, there was a lot of racial tension, and Nagy seemed to really step up, and it really felt like there was a good vibe going with the team, and they were getting close because of this. Why not Colin Kaepernick?
Because the organization is just too pussy for that.
I'm just talking about a guy that we did see his workout. He did still look pretty crisp. He does have an arm. He's mobile. Like, why not?
I would do it in a heartbeat. If I ran the Bears, I would absolutely do it. Why not?
But that's so. Bring in somebody after all this, after all the things that transpired, right? And everybody realizing that his movement did make sense, and everybody's supportive in that now. You bring him back, and that you bring him back into to this particular team, and that could actually be inspiring. That could actually be something that gets these guys pumped up in a time of the season where it's kind of things are not going great. That could be a spark if he still has something left in the tank.
Colin Kaepernick's worth more money not playing. It's just that,
I don't know. I mean, I think the deal is that he.
I don't know if he's got anything in the tank or not.
I think he has. I think he has something in the tank. I just think that
for his brand and his value, though, to go play football would be it'd be a step backwards.
Yeah, or definitely be a lateral move, and especially because, no matter what, they're gonna want to put some brackets around him. You know what I mean? They're not just gonna let him.
You're kicking the tires on these guys, Slaughter and freaking.
Slaughter is actually on the team.
Yeah, Slaughter's now on the practice squad.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like,
I agree. I mean, whatever. I wish that, like the Bears will not change anything unless it is absolute desperation time. That's what's crazy. Like, is they wouldn't. None of these young offensive linemen would even play if it hadn't have been for just massive COVID injury problems. Like, Riley Ridley can't see the field unless Javon Wims punches a guy in the face. Like,
welcome back, Javon.
Great. Everything's going to be so awesome now. Like, that's the craziness. Like, they are so stubborn. Like, Nagy is just so ridiculously stubborn because he thinks that he can make, the Kansas City thing happen still somehow. Like, it's just so ridiculous. Like, and the fact that we didn't spend any money on the offensive line, but instead we spent it on Robert Quinn, and Robert Quinn is a steaming pile of shit as a player this year, is so Bears. Like, we really robbed Peter to pay Paul, and then Paul like sat on his ass and got high all day and didn't do a fucking thing.
And Floyd
Like-
has 7 sacks, more than Khalil Mack right now.
Yeah,
And
Floyd's playing his
possibly-
ass off. NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Like, so
Congratulations
this
for
is
him.
what I'm talking about. Like, when bad shit happens to the Bears, it happens in like a layered fucking like plot
It's the rule-
line.
It's the
with-
rule of 3 in reverse.
No, like when bad shit happens to the Bears, it's written by Aaron Sorkin. Like, it's just like boom, 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 boom. Oh, and also this, and you're just like, eh. Like, it's so rich and frothy and horrifyingly bad when bad shit happens to us. Like, you can't make it up.
Well, like
you
right now,
cannot
like
make it up.
Foles goes down. Okay, let's get Mitch's shoulder.
Exactly. Like,
And I'm hoping
like,
Mitch
and
is
can I
gonna be
say
ready,
that
but-
I was like, this is probably a dick thing to say, but I don't care.
Right.
When they said that Foles' injury wasn't that serious, I was kind of like, oh. Like, I don't want him to be hurt for life or anything, but I was like, I wanted them to have no choice, like, in a way, to go back to Mitch. Because at this point, like, I'm like, let this motherfucker burn. Like, dance with who brung you, and your shit is exposed. And I don't know what I want to see from Mitch, but I don't want to see Foles like weekend at Bernie's ass out there anymore. Like, this dude.
God, he had us snowed, didn't he?
Well, I will say that like I was wrong personally when they
I
said
was
we were
too.
one of the worst 5-1 teams in NFL history, and we were just like when we got fired up and they were calling us the Jaguars back in the day, and they were
Yeah.
right. National media has actually been pretty accurate because they're not drinking the Kool-Aid like us. They're
Right.
outside looking in. They were right. We were a terrible 5-1 team, and the stuff
Yeah.
with Mitch, like I'm kind of I understand. After Mitch was out, you saw why the development didn't happen.
Right.
How were you supposed to develop? You came in behind Mike Lennon. What the hell are you going to learn behind him?
Yeah.
And you didn't put an O-line
Well,
around
and-
him.
and he was
this
caught
offense
in
is
it. Yeah.
the offense is a clusterfuck
How
with
do
or
you
without
fix
him.
it, though? Can you
Mitch
fix it?
was-
Can you fix it with the players on this roster right now?
Right now, no, not with that offensive line.
No, but I think
When you
we have a
adjust
better
it-
we have a better shot with Mitch with this offensive
What
line.
you
'cause he
can do
extend
if
things.
right, but if you are willing to go back to Mitch,
Let's go position by position. Let's do it like that.
hold on. I think it is a scheme thing first, and then we can do that.
Okay.
The first thing you have to do, and Juan Castillo kind of hinted at this in the interviews, is that he talked about, because he got a little contentious with Weeder, and Weeder was basically like wanting him to say that the run game sucks, and Castillo's like in a bad spot because it's like, dude was brought here to fix it, so like he's not gonna fully admit that it sucks, and so he's in a bad spot, and he's kind of like, well, kind of was like, well, we were good at the beginning of the year.
Mhm.
And so we have to think about going back to that. It's kind of, obviously highly paraphrased, but that's what they have to do. They have to go back to Mitch, and they have to go back to that offense. And
Yeah,
Nagy
formation.
hated that shit, and you could tell he hated that shit, and he couldn't wait to bench Mitch and go back to Foles. And he fucked everything up because
Problem
the
is
offensive line
the personnel's not the same right now.
the offensive line did look better.
Sure.
Like, if Anthony Miller could catch the ball, Mitch is probably still the quarterback. Like, seriously, if Anthony Miller could catch and ran and was in the right spots, Mitch might still be in his job right now.
Could be.
You know
a
what I
very-
mean? Because as much as we have shitted on Mitch, and I've done it plenty,
Oh yeah.
they let his ass down too in 2019. The offensive line let his ass down. The receivers dropped tons of balls. They didn't help him out at all. And he couldn't help himself because his best attribute was taken away from him.
Right,
Yeah.
and the processing was always a question with Mitch, but he didn't really have much time to process.
So you don't put yourself, not only that, but he didn't have time to process, but as you see what the offensive line has done to Foles, the same shit happened to Mitch. It makes him jumpy as fuck.
Dude,
Like-
I mean, I never saw Mitch with a play sheet wristband.
Right. I think he had one though.
Did he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
A
he had
flipper?
one.
I don't remember him flipping. I
I
remember
don't think
the
he
armband.
flipped it, but he had an armband with plays on it.
Yeah,
I don't
but-
think it because his doesn't need 2 pages.
Well, what I'm saying is, Foles was a guy that was supposed to know the offense. There's a lot of confusion.
Well, but they like backtrack that so hard. Like basically, like they came up with like Foles is like, well, I don't really know this offense. Like he wants us to know that for sure he really doesn't actually know the offense because he got here and was like, what is this fucking Nagy guy doing? Like this is like, this is not the same offense. Like this is some Nagy out there in space shit. Like Laser got his part of the playbook, and all of a sudden we're running Wildcat. Like, how big is this playbook, bro? Like, this thing is insane. There were plays in there that, like I don't know where they came from. Like, cocktail napkins from Applebee's. Like, fucking, that Nagy has in
name on here.
glove box. Like, yo. I just like it's craziness, and I think all of that just conspired to ruin Mitch. Now, was he ever good enough to live up to the 2nd overall pick? Probably not. But with a better coach,
I agree with that last comment. Yeah,
I think he could have been something.
we need a coach that can coach to the players' talent. It's pretty simple. When what you want to do doesn't work, you got to realize the people you have on your team, and you have to coach to their talent.
But that's the thing, is that Nagy came from only one school. He only knows one thing. He doesn't know other shit. He's not a seasoned coach. He's just a guy that came up in a system, and he only knows that system. So he's afraid, and he feels completely invalidated by not using his vaunted system that got him the job, that got him skyrocketed from selling houses to fucking.
I wanted Harbaugh back then, and I wanted Josh McDaniels, because McDaniels is a guy that has proven through his career. I know he's an asshole, but he adjusts to his talent.
But he hasn't proven shit away from Bill. I mean, let's call a spade a spade.
He
hasn't proved.
It's the same as
what?
What's going on in Tampa Bay.
He hasn't proved shit away from Bill. That's all I'm saying. Like, I mean, right now, Brady's looking pretty good in the whole, like, is it Bill, is it Brady thing. But Bill's, but the Patriots' talent is so.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa has a lot of talent. I mean,
but you see how good, but you see how good Bill is, in the fact that with that ragtag squad, he's able to hang with the Chiefs,
They had 8 guys on defense sit out the season.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe I'm not even. It doesn't look at so much on the side of Brady. Like, it's pretty balanced. Go ahead, Jared.
No, I was say, so we're going to change the offensive philosophy. We're going to go back to an I formation play action scheme.
Yes,
with Mitch Trubisky at the quarterback.
Yeah,
that's our first fix.
You can't run him as much designed runs, because everybody's screaming for Mitch to play, and it's like Mitch would have beaten the Saints. Mitch played one play and got hurt. Like, what are you fucking missing about that? Like, the same thing would have happened.
I'd love to have Coach Fox on. Like, outside looking in, Coach. What do you?
I'm sure it would be riveting entertainment.
Well, basically, it's Mitch is a good player, and you gotta control the ball, and you gotta make more plays than the other guy. That's really why you gotta make more plays.
I told Pace I wanted Watson.
I had a monkey growing up.
So,
I told you Carlos Santos was good. Wyatt Fox better than Nagy? Yes, of course he is. He has more of a resume, more of a track record. But Fox did some wild shit too. Like, Fox is that dude's a Elmer Fudd, fucking Mr. Magoo ass, like, doesn't know where he is, just befuddled ass dude.
So the next position I got for you is running back. What do you do at running back?
We need a more dynamic running back.
What do you think about Artavis?
First, his one play.
Yeah. It's one play. I mean,
Everybody thought it was Lamar Miller, including all the Monday night announcers.
right.
Thought it was
Lamar had
Miller.
a good run in the first half.
Yeah, but on that play, everybody thought it was Lamar Miller, and I thought it was Lamar Miller. But Pierce had a burst, and that was cool to see. What did I do with the running back? First, I would launch Ryan Nall into the sun.
Hopefully, there's no sand traps.
I would tell Cordarrelle, thank you for stopping by. It's you run hard. You don't run in the right spots very often.
I'm putting Lamar Miller in the start.
I like the fact that Cordarrelle at least makes a decision and sells out on that decision. Like he's, but it's oftentimes not the great lane. You know what I mean? Like he runs like he's running a kickoff return. And if he hits that seam, woo, it's over. But in the run game, you don't have lanes like that.
No, I just think should be coming back, right?
I would still start Miller if he can go. Just because I think an experienced running back that has played in the NFL for a while may do your offensive line some favors.
Do you think him and Montgomery split time?
I would hope so.
The way they do it by committee, yes.
If Laser stays the play caller, which I feel that he has to, right? I mean, what do you think? Do you think they go back to Nagy? Was that bad enough? Or is it still Nagy's fault and he can't really do that?
I liked at some points what Laser was trying to accomplish. I just don't think it was being executed well. I think
in the first half we ran the ball.
Well, what's fucked up too is that like as bad as
you're giving him 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So I would give him another.
Yeah,
shot.
I think you need to stick with Laser, and I think they probably will. I would say this though that what's kind of messed up is that I feel like Foles basically screwed it up. Like Laser had I think Laser had a decent game plan, although it really
I am a little bit pissed off
running the ball, but Foles really blew it. I mean, and the receivers, honestly, like Kmet was running the wrong route. I mean, even the one catch Kmet had, like, did you see A-Rob afterwards is like pounding the ground because he thinks Cole didn't catch it, and he was like, "What the fuck is dude doing right in front of me?" Because basically Foles was just throwing the ball to a spot, like. And Kmet dove in and was actually doing something that the Bears receivers have never been able to do. And how many times have we talked about it? But scramble drill. Kmet actually did a good scramble drill. And if you want to call what Foles did scrambling, I don't, it was more like, I don't know what it was. It wasn't really scrambling. It was like moving.
Slothing,
yeah.
And one guy, I know he's not like lighting the world on fire, but he ended up on the Seahawks, was Bo Scarborough. That dude is a freaking he's a beast.
That's your boy. You're the only person I've really heard call him out, but he
can move forward.
Yeah, he falls
forward.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. I mean,
he's a big dude though.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with him and the Lions, but he got cut. So
I'm not saying he's a great player, but he's a guy that can get you.
No, I agree. I think the Lions probably should have used him better, but then they end up picking up AP, who really hasn't done much since he played against us. They've been getting good production out of the Swift, but now Swift has a concussion.
You know why? Why it's a little comment. Let me say something. Why I said screen. I said screen was going to have to be a key, right? And he had a shitty game. Jefferson, he's good for a rookie. I wasn't blown away.
I will say this though, I'm envious of the fact that
he's very polished for a rookie, though.
I agree, but
nobody on the Vikings blew me away. We just played like shit.
It's pretty damn impressive that they were able to let Diggs go and replace him.
Diggs is on a whole nother level, man.
I know he is, but just to even have a replacement level player in Jefferson, not full replacement, but just to have a guy who is, I mean, he's tearing it up. Could you imagine if Jefferson was doing what he's doing on the Bears? I mean, we get hyped about Darnell Mooney and his 7 catches and his 2 cool routes that the ball didn't like. If Jefferson was on the Bears, we'd be fucking all have Jefferson jerseys and shit. Come on.
No, he's a good young player.
He's playing his ass off.
Diggs used to I mean, even Diggs in his rookie year was I just think he's a much better player.
Of course he is, but they don't want to pay him $16 million, $17 million or more. And so what I'm saying is that's a sick move by the GM to let him. They made some bum ass
moves. Like he was in his prime.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a good segue to our receiver group.
I'm just saying, like, Jefferson's playing well, and if he was on the Bears, we'd be jocking him. Like, don't act like dude's not good. Did he replace a Pro Bowler? No, but he's on his way to. He'll probably be in the same ballpark as Diggs next season. I mean, that dude looks pretty fucking good.
Well, no, the comment was I talked mad shit. No, I listened to a Vikings podcast that said he only scores in garbage time. That was from your own fan base, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
So anyway.
Listen, the Vikings have a freaking respectable offense. I'd love to be the Vikings right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great question. Would you rather be the 4-5 Vikings or the 5-5 Bears? If you could just trade personnel with them across the board.
I want their defense.
But
they're young. They have youth.
Cousins would get ripped in Chicago. He gets shredded in Minnesota. Cousins would get ripped to shreds here. He wouldn't be able to take it. He'd crack.
Yeah, plus they have a nice climate-controlled indoor stadium, which I don't think any NFC North team should be playing indoors. I think that's a little bit pansy. Plus they wear purple, and I'm good.
Could you imagine though if we had Dalvin Cook? Can you imagine the Bears fans hard on for Dalvin Cook? Like just a running back that can run for 200 yards.
You saw what we did for Jordan Howard, who ran for 1,000 yards in 2 seasons. His first 2
exactly.
seasons.
We're still jocking this dude. Dude is like
people thought he was elite.
Dude's on the street right now. Like he is. That is it.
No, Philly picked him up.
Oh. No, did they?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
there you go.
Well, he was on the street anyway. He got cut by Miami.
So as far as let's get us full circle back to where we were at the Bears running back. So we're going Montgomery.
Gonna go Montgomery and Miller and Pierce, and all goes away, and less Cordarrelle Patterson, because the problem with Cordarrelle is you can't if you don't give him 15 or 20 snaps, it's just too much of a dead giveaway. What we're gonna do when he comes on the field.
I tend to agree with that.
Like you have to get him on the field enough to use him in different looks for it to be worthwhile. Because otherwise it's just telegraphed. And they had 50 snaps. You know how pathetic that is to have only 50 snaps?
Yeah.
Bro, I was complaining about us having 65.
Yep. It's not good.
And 50 snaps for the Bears is like 10 drives, like as bad as they are. They were averaging like 3 yards a drive or something obscene. I don't know. Weeder has just been shoveling the most heinous stats. Like, oh my God. Like he just keeps coming up with more. Like it's like they just keep looking in the floorboards at John Wayne Gacy's house and just pulling out more like, like it's just, like it's brutal. Like the post-mortem of this game has been something else.
Yeah, it's been,
and of this 4 weeks, I mean, this 4 weeks has just been relentless to be a Bears fan. Like you got to have an iron stomach to deal with this shit. And people are all over the place. People are dark like us, and people are like reverting back to their like jacking off to their fat heads on the walls bullshit. Like, I mean, it's like people are all in their crazy town right now.
Fucking picture.
Yeah, the Wolverine pictures of Jay. Like, I mean, like we are wilding out on Bears Twitter. Like, and like nothing is even. Yeah.
Let's have a little moment in Bears Twitter. Just pick something up random. Moment in Bears Twitter today.
Oh, dude, I mean, who you don't even know. Like I posted this thing the other day that and I took the name off it because I'm not trying to call people out. You know what I mean? I tweet plenty of dumb shit, so I'm not trying to like say that I'm better than you. But this is a tweet.
We just want to hear the deep thoughts of Bears Twitter.
Yeah.
Deep thoughts of Bears.
Deep thoughts. Nick Foles is terrible, and I'm not about to lose out. Oh, excuse me. And I'm not ready to lose out. I think if we put in Mitch, we could win out.
Oh.
We would have won last night with Mitch, and probably against the Saints.
Wow.
Do you remember my friend? I don't even remember who it is. I cropped the name off. Like I'm not trying to hate anybody. If you wrote that, I mean, God bless you. You're in a dark spot right now. You're very disconnected from reality. Do you remember when Mitch played against the Saints
Yeah.
last?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Like, and it was
Chase,
just,
was that him or Chase?
no, it was him, and it was hot garbage. And then at the end, he put together a couple of drives. And other than that, the most eventful part of that game was Tariq Cohen having that dude that Javon Wim punched talk shit to him about being short.
Patterson returned to kickoff.
Yeah, that game, yes. Patterson returned to kickoff for a touchdown, but that game, other than that, was atrocious. Mitch played like hot garbage.
Good point, though. The dude's shoulder's banged up. Like, even if he played, it would have been bad.
This is what I'm saying is that, like,
I remember when Mitch played against the Saints. He went in for one fucking play and blew his shoulder out.
And this is my problem.
In the end.
Right. Like, it's like, do you like this selective memory? Like, they act like Mitch is, like, locked up on a cage.
Mitch couldn't physically play after that.
Yeah, like, it's like Mitch is not the Spanish prisoner, okay? Like, you know, like, he's on the team. He still sucks. And he's injury prone. Like, I'm sorry to break that to you. Like, we've been telling you for a fucking however long that they had two backup quarterbacks. Like they have two backups, and it was just a matter of who was going to suck less. But Nagy couldn't hold on, and he spit the bit, and he ruined everything.
Well, we talk about you like we'll talk about more tweets in a minute, but like Pace making a case to stay here. Motherfucker, you let Teddy Bridgewater come in and told him, no, Teddy, you're going to be in a quarterback competition. That was Pace, man. You could just go on and on about the stupid shit he pulls.
Right. Well, and this is what I'm saying is that I think that the entire idea that Pace and Nagy are in lockstep right now is not the case. I don't think they are. And I think Pace has been subtly working to distance himself from the current plan. Now, he's certainly, done his usual, the beginning of the year thing where he puts on his show and talks about how they're going to compete for a championship, and they really like the room and this and this and that. But I'm just saying, like, this Pace got Nagy everything he wanted. Like, he fired Harry Hiestand for him. He fired Helfrich for him. And he kept his boy Mike Furry for him, even though Mike Furry is a total fucking fraud. Like, and then, it was like, oh, no, it's cool. Like, we don't need any more offensive linemen because we got Juan Castillo's, breadline ass that didn't even have a job. Like, and then we're going to get Bill Lazor. But really, like, they wouldn't even gotten Bill Lazor if DeFlippo had become available sooner. Pardon me, if DeFlippo hadn't been fired again for the second time in 2 years sooner. Like, and why did DeFlippo get fired, by the way? Oh, because he was the quarterback coach of who? Nick Foles.
No, he was offensive coordinator.
Yeah, excuse me. He was the offensive coordinator of Gardner Minshew and Nick Foles. So he somehow gets credit for the Gardner Minshew experience, but not enough to keep your job, right? So basically they were like, you and Foles, get the fuck out. You're not even good enough for Jacksonville.
Andrew Luck, the Colts still have the rights to him, Wyatt.
I guess. I think technically, sure.
Yeah, if he came back.
So, all right, we got.
What's this? This goes to your David Shaw plan.
I like David Shaw. I don't know why he would come to Chicago, and I mean, college football coaches kind of have it made.
Somebody said that they should hire the offensive coordinator of your shirt there. Notre Dame's offensive.
Oh, you want to start talking coach replacements? Because I can do that.
No, I don't know. Jer, where are we on the?
We're going to go tight ends, so we can go.
I want to talk coach and GM replacements, though, at some point. Go ahead. Tight ends.
I
By all
mean,
means,
tight
let's
ends. Okay, real quick, tight ends though. That's another area that Nagy and Foles are complete fucking frauds in. Is we've heard all this. Actually, like, I don't know, it hurts to say this, but like, Mitch was better with tight ends than Favre is. He just didn't have any.
Not
Like
better
when
than
Mitch
Favre.
had Burton.
Not better than Favre.
What?
You said Favre. You had a Freudian slip there. Because somebody
because
put Favre-
Wyatt's posting about Favre. Mitch is better than Foles with tight ends. He is. When he had a tight end, super pause. When he had a tight end, Burton, it actually looked good when Burton was healthy. Like that actually worked okay.
He looked okay with Miller at times too.
Exactly. Like, I just don't think anybody realized how bad Foles is now. And maybe always was.
We did.
Yeah, but we were just hoping that it was going
hoping that he would help that offensive line out.
just
And
be
that's
decent.
the last group.
Like ultimately, like all I thought was that he would hit the open receivers when they got open, and he can't even do that. And the offensive line is so bad that they're making it look like it's all their fault. But
he did
it's
have
not.
some clean pockets to throw from at certain points though in that game.
Absolutely.
I think that's the last group we'll talk about is the offensive line.
I
How
think
do you fix that?
the coaching with the tight ends, Jer, the coaching is coming out because like, okay, Komet ran the wrong route, but that was supposed to be Jimmy Graham's route normally. Well, that's a coaching issue if you don't have your player understanding the route.
In there.
But I think you need to, at this point in the season, I think I'd like to see Komet in more.
Well, he is. He was in 35 out of the 50 snaps they had. I don't know how many pass routes he's getting, but you're right. That's a coaching failure. If Graham doesn't know if Komet doesn't know Graham's routes, then Komet ain't a student of the game doing everything he's supposed to be doing like they fucking lie to us.
Right.
Like, sorry, that's a coaching and a player issue. Like, you're telling me you're trying to be the starting tight end. What's the first thing you should do? Know their playbook so that when you get in, you say, yo, I know his plays. Let's go.
Right.
I know my plays. I know his plays. Komet should know Allen Robinson's plays. Komet should know every receiver and everybody's plays. Like, not like he could run them himself, but he should know them all. Like, it's garbage I'm just saying that's a cornball excuse, and I don't even know if it's a real excuse. But if it is, it makes everybody look bad.
Right.
Like, you should have said that, bro. And then Barone said, too, that, there's no him plays, a couple of weeks ago. Like, they basically have no specific plays. And people kind of read into it that there's no specific plays for anybody, and I don't buy that.
No, I don't either.
I think there's definitely specific plays that are designed
There's shot plays to Mooney for sure. There's shot plays to
and to Robinson and Miller. Everybody has plays. So the people that extrapolated that out to mean that Nagy's offense doesn't feature, it's retarded. It doesn't make any sense. But what I think is true is that Barone kind of let the cat out of the bag.
You could say whatever you want because nobody knows what the hell it is because he doesn't even know what the hell it is.
Right. Well, again, he's never been a part of anything like this. So
right.
He doesn't even know it's happening while it's happening. Like, he's still just can't believe how horrible it is. I wonder, I would love to know what it felt like for him to watch the car wreck outside of the car for the first time. Like the car was being driven by somebody else.
Yeah. I bet it was quite an experience. He's like, oh, really?
Yo, because listen, when you're in a car accident and you're driving, it's scary as fuck. But when you're in a car accident and you're the passenger, holy shit, that's a whole other thing. Like, you feel so much more out of control. Like, even if you almost get in a car accident as a passenger, you're grabbing the shit out of the handle, digging your nails into the fucking dashboard. So Nagy must have went through an out of body experience. That must have been and karma's a bitch. Honestly, I don't have any sympathy for him for him having to go through that because he should see.
It could have been a shot, like you said. They're not getting along, him and Pace. This could have been a ploy to be like, look what I'm working with, Ryan. I'm not doing it anymore now. Look,
Yeah, or it can go the other way because ultimately this still falls on Nagy. Like Nagy doesn't have a.
He could easily change the playbook and make it work.
I just
He has
yes,
power.
but that's the thing that he can't do is his, and this is the thing that, and I've said this before, is they say that when you're lost in the woods, what kills you is not starvation, it is not thirst, it is not animals, it is pride. Because you are refused to admit that you are lost, and then you do nothing to get yourself out of the situation because you're so concerned with this idea that I'm not lost. I know exactly where I'm going. And then by the time you realize you're lost, you're fucking ready to starve, or like whatever. That's Nagy. Like he refuses to admit that he's fully lost. And he was forced to by doing this Mitch offense and putting Mitch in at the beginning of the year. And then as soon as it went south, he went right back and it's bullshit. Like he really thought Foles could just run the offense the way he really wanted to run it, and he brought out all his dusty ass plays.
And then we got people still screaming extend AR. I like Allen Robinson. He's a nice guy. Has he gotten better since he's been here?
No,
he's gotten healthier.
I'm not saying that, but has he become a better player?
No, he has the same problem he had in Jacksonville. He doesn't have anybody throwing him balls.
He hasn't even put up Alshon numbers since he's been here.
He's a top 15.
No, he has not.
He's a top 15 receiver. And I'm sorry, Brandon Parker, A-Rob's agent, he's not a big red zone threat. It's like, you want to know why they don't throw him to the red zone anymore, dude? It's because every time they did, Allen got it picked. That's why. Like, how many interceptions does dude have to allow on 50-50 balls? And I defended him, but before they go, hey, maybe we're going to try to throw to someone else because, like, it doesn't seem to work out too tough. Dude leads the league in contested catches partially because he gets no separation.
True.
And that's to some degree, that's because he's being covered by the number one corner, but that's not an excuse. If you want to be a $20 million a year guy, you get the fucking numbers regardless. Like
1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying is that Alshon was that red zone deep threat. Now Alshon also had a better quarterback.
Alshon was injury prone as hell too. He was only
right.
That's true.
And now he's extra injury prone because he got paid.
Let's get to the biggest dump on the offense, and it's the offensive line. How do you shuffle the line to make it work
from this current roster?
From the current roster,
we don't have much talent.
You have to. Leno. Nobody wants to hear it, but Leno's actually, now that Daniels is gone, Leno's the best offensive lineman we have.
I agree.
What's Mustafa? What's his status? Is he?
Nobody knows.
Well,
assuming
everybody's healthy.
Let's assume that the current roster is healthy. So you put Mustafa in center. No, not Daniels. Anybody that's injured is injured, but these guys that are kind of like in the, like, realistically, like we have, I don't think we even get Massey back. Like, let's say Massey's not back.
All right, so Mustafa at center.
Yes.
Okay.
Cody at left guard.
Mm-hmm. Now we
Cody at right guard.
Mm-hmm.
Cody at right tackle.
Yes, I think Cody would be your right tackle. For me, I want to kick him out the right tackle.
Damn, how long is it? I mean, he's been out there.
If Eric Kush is
your right guard.
Yeah, where the hell is Kush?
Anything left?
Kush was on the active roster this week.
Great question.
Kush is on the active roster this week.
I could use some Kush right now.
Was
right.
But
yeah, if he's got anything, why not throw him at guard? Put Mustafa
right guard, right? So who's your left guard? Because now you got Cody at right tackle. Who's your left guard?
Keep it with bars.
Bro, I don't even know. That's like
Chris. I agree. I mean, I think Mitch should be the quarterback.
I think Spriggs.
Man, I'm just not enamored with Cody at center. He rolled one back. And
Cody is not playing well. To the point where it's crossed my mind, like if he's purposely playing well to get Foles hurt, playing poorly to get.
No, I don't think
since Cody played right tackle at Kansas State, so it's not like he hasn't played right tackle before. So that's where I come with the right tackle thing.
It's been a minute,
and it gets Rashad Coward nowhere near the offense.
Boris has messed around with tackle more than Cody lately.
Your nephew Wyatt says, Jeremy, use some common sense. Whitehair isn't a tackle ever.
Okay, he was a tackle.
Cody is a guard.
Okay.
I'm saying
I'd probably throw bars out.
Okay, so that's your lineup. Mine is Leno, Cody at left guard, Mustipher at center, Cush at right guard, and Spriggs or Bars at right tackle.
I put Bars at right tackle.
Okay, go for it.
I'm not. I don't want to see Cody trying to play tackle. That's
What
it.
about you, Brian?
I put Leno's your left tackle, Mustipher at center, Cody at left guard. Probably, I don't know about. I mean, it depends where Cush is at. I guess. Do you want to put the tank top legend at right guard?
Hell yeah, that's what I said.
I'm done with Ifedi too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then right tackle Bar, see what he has.
Right, so we have the same line. You're off the island, Jer. That's our line.
But bring a Petty in at tight end once in a while to put an extra O-lineman in.
So he can miss that block.
No, but like this is the crazy thing.
It's better than Graham blocking.
We were playing 5-man protection, and you say why were the splits so tight, and that's part of. Well, I say why were the fucking splits so tight?
Why Spriggs sucks, bro.
Yeah, but like, listen, we were playing 5-man protection and still getting beat by 4.
Yep.
Like.
Because they don't
even have any pass rushers. They got like 3 dudes whose names you can't say. Like they don't even have they don't have any pass rushers, and we got beat like a drum.
So there you go. That's how you fix
the linebacker blitz kill. They just did not pick it up all night long. It was
because like they just suck out loud. Coward is so not an NFL player. Like it just needs to stop. Why are we witnessing this experiment? Like what did we do to deserve this? It's embarrassing. Like this dude makes freaking like some of the worst offensive linemen we've seen look amazing. Jamarcus Webb looks like a Hall of Famer compared to Rashad Coward. Bro, I would kill for Jamarcus Webb.
Yeah, that is so bad.
Like he looked like an NFL player. He was horrible, and Rashad Coward makes him look like goddamn, I don't know, like fucking a Hall of Famer.
I agree.
And so wide receiver, did you bring that up yet?
We tried to, and I think we ended up
going to A-Rob.
Yeah, wide receiver, they've pretty much locked it in. It's A-Rob, Mooney, and Miller.
It also brings us to the newest signing.
I think Ridley might need to see more time than Miller.
The newest signing, DeAndre Carter?
No, JJ.
No, they haven't signed him. They just brought him in for a tryout. JJ Nelson?
JJ Nelson.
They didn't sign him.
Okay.
He was just on the tryout list.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to end up on the team.
No, I mean you put Miller at kick returns and let Riley really get some run.
I would do that. I would absolutely do that. Miller made a great punt return.
We got Rocky back too. Wims is coming back, so
yeah. Rocky. It's more like Chris Childs. Yeah, you can call him Rocky. That's a diss to Rocky. He's like Chris Childs throwing fucking.
Call him Creed.
You open hand slap the dude with a helmet while you were wearing a helmet, and then you're trying to flex. Fuck out of here! Like that was like 2 toddlers, bro, stealing each other's binkies and shit. Like, come on. And people want to people actually want to hold. This is how soft this team is that Javon Wims is our tough guy. This is what I said is that like I'm tired of this.
This is a tough guy. Yeah.
Like Javon Wims is the enforcer on this team. That's how not tough this team is. Like, and don't get me wrong, Khalil Mack is tough, but like, there's no nasty on the offense. There's Akeem Hicks is tough and mean and nasty. Bilal Nichols, Brent Urban, our new hero, is doing his thing. On the offensive side of the ball, there's no nastiness. There's no like anybody who won't stand for shit. You know what I mean? Like
they haven't mic'd up bars yet, man. That kid has some nasty in him.
how do you know? What?
Because he went to Notre
You guys
Dame.
got a Chatterbait account that I don't know about with fucking Bars offensive lineman Chatterbait. Like
I don't even know what Chatterbait is.
I never heard of it either. But
Literally.
I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying. Like,
Well, that's how you
there
fix
is
it.
nobody on this team that's tough. Like, the toughest moment that any offensive lineman has had on this team was when Ifedi was basically telling Wims to get the fuck off the field. Like, that was the most heart that anybody on this offensive line has showed at any point this season since Daniels went down.
Yeah.
And that's what's messed up is that, like, the offense they were running with Mitch actually made this offensive line look functional.
I don't
For the
think
first time,
It's fun to talk about. I just don't see the fix. What
there is no fix.
That's
It's
what we're trying. We're trying
it's
to play
just
double
juggling. But you don't know. It's just juggling. And the biggest problem, I think, is that these dudes don't practice. They don't actually practice anymore. It's and the COVID shit has made it even worse. They're Zoom calls and
We're chasing decent.
Always.
bro, like I don't even like we're chasing Amy. Like I don't like we're just chasing. That's the story of the Bears is like Pace is chasing his mistakes, Nagy's chasing the Chiefs offense. Foles is chasing all of his drinks with multiple ibuprofens.
Chris in the chat that leads
Good way
that's a good way to segue into what I kind of wanted to talk about.
The draft and free agency would be the fix. Chasing yards. Yeah.
I don't want Ryan Pace anywhere near another draft. I don't want at this
You can
point.
draft defensive guys.
I don't give a shit. I don't want Nagy anywhere near another draft either. So like,
So who would you? Okay, you're gonna.
I'll discuss the guys that I would like to
in Diddy World, in Diddy Land.
So yeah, fix the front office.
Just
for GM. Got a little list here for you. Let's see what you guys think. Louis Riddick.
Yes, Chris Adder's Pace should be fired 100%.
Yeah, graders, you are correct.
Louis Riddick, Daniel Jeremiah potentially. Those are two TV guys that get it. But
yeah,
Martin Mayhew from 49ers VP of Player Personnel. Joe Horitz. This is a guy, Ravens Director of College Scouting. Ravens have a very good track record of consistently being competitive and drafting well.
That
Mike Borgonzi.
Horowitz is intriguing.
The Director of Football Operations for the Chiefs. And then Dan Morgan, the Bills Director of Player Personnel, is going to be a hot name, I think. Ed Dobbs, Colts VP of Player Personnel. It's coming from pretty good, being around a pretty good GM. Here's a name that might be kind of interesting. So you guys remember Ron Wolf from the Packers?
Yes.
Elliot Wolf. He's with the Patriots right now. He's their consultant and a scout in the front office.
Ron Wolf's kid?
Yes.
Okay.
So those are just some names that I
mean, I don't know on
the
how do the Packers? I don't think the Packers fans feel that great about Ron Wolf. Like,
no.
Well, he was a hot name at one time though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like, sometimes you have to stay. Like, the thing that I like about the TV guys, and it's kind of like, right, but like people say, oh, the TV guys, and we talked about this. I think Mayock's doing just fine. The TV guys is you get away from the nepotism, and I think the nepotism of the league sometimes is what causes the problems. And so when they brought in a Corsi, he was using Parcells, Peyton, that tree, that kind of pseudo nepotism tree to inform his decision about who to bring in, and that's how they got with Pace. And then Pace is a guy who's basically trying to emulate all the things that the Saints did. Well, I mean, honestly, how successful are the Saints? Like, we would probably trade places with them in terms of being contenders every year, but they're really not an organization. They've had a Hall of Fame quarterback for how long, and they've won one. They're like the Packers of the South. No, Breeze doesn't have 2 Super Bowls.
He's been to 2.
Right, but he hasn't. I don't care about going to them. Like,
Sure.
Rex Grossman's been to a Super Bowl, and it doesn't mean anything. Like, you got to win. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, look at the Saints and go, oh, what a successful organization, I guess. Like, and so he's trying to emulate that, and Nagy's trying to emulate his Chiefs shit, and like neither one of them can do it.
I think Mayock has. What did he come out of the NFL Network doing and specializing in, though? NFL Draft, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with Daniel Jeremiah.
Right.
So there's where you could maybe find a connection there.
I mean,
I'm just not big on
yeah.
TV dude. TV dude can. There's a reason he's TV.
Well,
Riddick?
These are guys with NFL executive experience. They're guys that were scouts, and
Riddick was a player
played,
too.
yeah.
Like Riddick has the resume pre-TV. Like Riddick was on track, and then he went to TV, and he just skyrocketed. He's gonna be somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like guaranteed, Riddick will be somewhere. And he might as well be with the Bears, but I think he's a dude that gets it, and would do a good job.
I know that, and somebody with a personality, because Ryan Pace has personality of a doorknob.
Yeah, I mean, it's just brutal. Like, I just think, and I think that Riddick does talk like a guy who is. No, I think Chris says Riddick won't leave TV. I think he absolutely will leave TV. And you want to know why? Because those dudes crave that competition and that locker room. Like, they're itching for it. They want it to be back in their lives so bad. And TV does not replace that. Like, that dude wants that juice like he used to get when he played so bad, and so that's why he'll go back. He'll absolutely go back. And if he could be the GM of the Bears, I guarantee you he would do it in a heartbeat. Even if he had to fire his boy Matt Nagy, and Matt Nagy would be like, yeah, I understand. Like, you got to do what you got to do.
In Diddyland, we also fired the coach, correct?
Yep.
All right.
Wyatt Romo should be an O coordinator. No, you got to be trolling with that. Romo's smart, but come on. Like, nah.
All right. So we fired the head coach in Diddyland.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
who are the names that you want?
I think this would be more of a choice of if Pace stayed, but Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Panthers, he was the passing game coordinator for LSU when Burrow was there. He also learned under Sean Payton. He was a pass game. I believe he was an assistant coach for the Saints. He's only 31 years old. Young offensive mind.
He's not ready to be.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying that that's a potential guy. Eric Bieniemy. I don't know if we go to try to find another apple off the Andy Reid tree, but
he gets run game though. Yeah, I just think Bieniemy's actually the secret sauce of that whole thing because he's a run game expert because he was a running back and a good one.
I brought up McDaniels to kind of not feeling that, and I understand that. David
Shaw.
I
would love to see Bieniemy get a hold of Tariq Cohen because Tariq Cohen's like a smaller Bieniemy, faster.
Right. Yep, and David Shaw I already mentioned, but here's, last time we won a Super Bowl was a former player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who played for that coach? Who played for
a lot of people?
Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, fuck Jim Harbaugh.
Listen, hear me out. Hear me out.
I know Chris personally.
Go ahead.
Chris, please put your resume out for Jim Harbaugh as a head coach.
Let me put my resume out for him.
Okay.
He will inject freaking toughness and no bullshit here. He's not going to be coming in and throwing frisbees for fun time.
I was with Jer on this, and I was doubting Harbaugh, but I was listening tonight to Waddle and Sylvie, and a dude called up and he ran down the Harbaugh resume. And the Harbaugh resume prior to Michigan is pretty tight. Like, dude went to like 4 NFC championship games. Like, he resurrected Alex Smith's career. He put Colin Kaepernick on the map. Like,
do you remember when Singletary left? That was a shit show.
Yes. He took over an absolute shit show in San Francisco, and he did shit at Stanford and San Diego State.
Like, what happened at Michigan, though?
So what? Michigan's like, nobody's been able to win at Michigan like since Lloyd Carr. Like, come on. Like, Michigan is like, you know, they're a problem, and the problem is named Ohio State. Like, they can't do anything. I mean, that's like, you know, you're going to blame everything that goes on in the SEC because they can't beat Alabama. Like, I just think
there were rumors before he took the Michigan job that the only NFL job that would be a dream job for him was Chicago. This guy,
he will come here, no doubt.
He understands the city. He understands the history of this team. Yeah. He's a tough dude. He's going to make players uncomfortable. Like, you don't want to fucking be here. You don't want to try to get the fuck out. Like, there's going to be no more bullshit.
At first, I was not a fan of it, but it almost makes so much sense.
Like this offensive line, like we're talking about these guys that aren't even playing, like don't even like have any freaking animal in them. You know what I mean? Like Harbaugh's not going to put up with that shit.
Right.
So I don't know.
Like you got. I mean, and I'm not a fan of all the love that Joe Judge has been getting in New York. But did you hear what happened between him and Mark Colombo?
Yeah, I would take Colombo on our offensive line right now. Come out of retirement, bro.
What happened with him and Colombo?
So
they punched him.
So Joe Judge brought in a consultant because he was he started sitting in on Colombo's O-line meetings and basically like throwing his nuts around and you know taking over the meetings. And Colombo got pissed. So Joe Judge brought in some Patriots dude who was an offensive line coach for them, you know, with Dante Scarnecchia and all that. And to bring in as a consultant, like to basically like put Mark Colombo on notice, like, you know, and Colombo fucking freaked out. And apparently they had a fight, like that turned into an actual fight. And Joe Judge threw his ass out. And now that dude is the offensive line coach.
Wow.
But I'm like, I mean, part of me is like, I don't want to give Joe Judge credit, but I like, damn, like, I don't think Nagy's doing any shit like that. Nagy has supreme confidence in everyone.
Ugh.
What do you have supreme confidence in, bro?
Nagy's not getting a fist with them, but they're probably doing hot yoga
Nagy
together.
Won't pull rank on anybody either. Like, could you imagine Nagy saying anything to Hulk Nagy? Like he gets like he's afraid of Hulk Nagy. Like Hulk Nagy's like, what? Don't say anything to me.
He's afraid to say anything to him.
I can't get rid of Ragone. He was our QB coach. I need to make him the passing game coordinator.
Can I throw a name in there? Yeah. And I know we already discussed him. I think you might give Jay Rogers a look too in house.
Man, you are on some bullshit with Jay
Rogers. I'm telling you, man.
Well, listen. I mean, look at Brandon Staley. Like left. Jay Rogers is a guy that could end up being. No.
Why not?
Shut up! I thought you were talking about.
Ditka was a special teams coordinator. What the hell?
You can't compare that to.
You can't compare that. That's right.
I don't think you can because Ditka was already a Hall of Fame player for this organization. I'm just
saying, he should get a look.
Jared, where the fuck's our pass rush? Get that right before you want to become a fucking head coach.
That's true. I mean, come on, like
he's not a linebacker.
You can't like,
dude. You get pressure with your front line, man. The run game, our run defense hasn't been that good this year. Where's he at, bro?
Yeah.
Where's his magic? Like, I don't know.
It's gotten better the last.
It's gonna get better.
Yeah, I mean,
he should get a look.
I'm all for like not blaming anything on the defense, but that doesn't mean that they don't get criticized.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, Robert Quinn has played like hot garbage, and Kyle Fuller still needs to squeeze the damn interceptions when he gets them, and that's been a problem his whole career. Like, if
you say it's the linebackers for Mack and Quinn, they're up on the line.
Right, but
Rodgers
not
has some
technically-
responsibility with that.
It's not Monachino's technically their position coach. I agree with you. It's a collective effort. I mean, the thing is that Pagano, in that whole unit, they never play with a lead, so it does change things. I mean, Pagano's talked about how, Khalil might get 45 snaps, but of those, half of them were passing, and then, half again of that were even pass rush downs. But to me, it's like, make them pass rush downs. What do you have to lose? Like, at this point, they need to throw caution to the wind and let these dudes loose. And if they give up big plays, fuck
So be it.
So be it. But guess what? You might make some big plays.
True.
Like,
Was there a PS5 over there or something?
Chris says, the whole Notre Dame close is making me laugh. Yeah, it's because, number one, Chris, we're celebrating the tryout of Deshaun Kaiser, and Brian's a big Notre Dame fan, which we always give him shit about.
And we're
If you're new to the show,
I'm trying to have some positivity.
yeah, we're trying to find some positivity. So, yeah, Wyatt wants to know something positive. The only thing that's positive about this team really right now is Roquan Smith. Everybody else is just kind of like whatever. And I agree. Like Chris Bleck said today, that this is how bad this offense is. It's like robbed our ability to even enjoy the defense. Like,
Wow. That's a great statement.
it's true. Like, normally we'd be so hyped about Roquan. Like, he's finally coming into form. This is a
I'm
guy
not gonna say that Roquan's the only guy on our defense. The defense is playing well as a whole. I mean, come on.
I agree, but he is taking it to another level. Everybody else is status quo or worse than the back of their football card. This dude is taking it to another level. That's exciting.
Patterson is a positive on special teams. I don't want to see him.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what's
on
fucking
offense.
whack is that two phases are playing good. We actually have two phases, and
Chris
the third one.
Tabor, the most Cleveland thing we've had, actually has them playing well.
And Schroeder.
No, Tabor.
That's true.
Tabor can't.
Try to lock him
Fuck
out.
Tabor.
Mr. Whiskers.
I've heard people out there saying they want Dave Tobe. I just feel like if Dave Tobe could interview better, he'd already have a job. Something has kept Dave Tobe from getting a job. I don't know what it is, but there's a reason dude does not have a job yet. Like, Chris, there's nothing wrong with drinking. It's a tailgate. It's all
Social.
good. So
We got rules.
drink them if you got them. But yeah, I don't, like, I'm down with Harbaugh. Like, honestly, I feel like we're still the damn Bears. Like, we can't, the whole hiring Matt Nagy thing was so out of character for us, and you just knew that it was going to be doomed. We wanted to believe it, but realistically, you still have to remember that we're still the fucking Bears.
We need a fresh start at GM and coach.
And that's just not for us. Like, like, this is where receivers go to die. It's still true. Like, you cannot run a fast team here, not on that bullshit field, and that, and the fucking mistake by the lake. Like, you can't.
Well,
Chris just gotta,
not to get super political, but if he gets fired, is it going to be like Trump?
Who, Nagy?
No,
I think,
Jim not leaving. Jim not leaving Michigan. Jim might be asked to leave Michigan.
I don't know, man. They love him up there. He's a bit. I know.
No, they're pretty far soured on him.
He's
All they love is beating Ohio State, and he has not done that. That's not true. No, Harbaugh is not safe. Last year, maybe, but he's not safe. No way.
Indiana did just beat him.
Dude,
I mean, you lose
yes.
to Indiana, that's like almost like a death shot.
Now,
Yeah.
hopefully, we find out what Ohio State thinks about that Saturday. We play.
If you guys beat Ohio State, it's on. I mean, you're talking college, Indiana, Notre Dame, and the college football playoff. If that should happen,
That would be so awesome.
that would be insane.
It'd be great. We would have to do a whole show about that.
You don't want that smoke, bro. I'm telling
What's
you.
up with that dude? That coach is like is like the hype man, right? The Indiana coach. What's his
Tom
name?
Green,
That dude's the hype man, right?
he's fucking.
He's got him
Tom
got him
Allen.
believing, right?
Tom Allen. Yeah, dude, great. Dude's a great coach. coach down in Florida, high school coach here in Indiana.
Just saying, he's got him like hyped, right? Like that's
Yeah,
his MO. Is he's you know,
He is plugged into his players. He's a great coach. That's a name. I don't know that he can't. I don't think his game relates to the NFL, but
well, just not yet. I mean, maybe in a while, you know, like he's a rah guy. I mean, it's a whole different story coaching 18-year-olds than
absolutely. I don't think he would ever even consider it right now. I think he's very happy with what he's doing.
right.
If you can make Indiana into
But that would be absolutely insane if there's an Indiana Notre Dame college football playoff. Holy fuck, that would
it would be the best. It'd be the tailgate bowl.
COVID would have a field day on that shit. Good lord, you couldn't stop them.
And also, like they were one of the guys in the chat was talking about Harbaugh's first recruited quarterback, and so that might keep him there. But I saw Harbaugh actually. The Cost of Winning on HBO. It's about this St. Mary's High School or something out in Baltimore. It's a high school prep team basically. Check that out, man. It's dope. Michael Strahan actually produces it, but it's a hell of a show. But Harbaugh actually recruited the running back from Michigan. Jadeveon Clowney's cousin is actually being recruited from there too. It's a cool show if you guys get a chance. Cost of Winning. It's freaking. Right. It's badass.
Jadeveon Clowney's cousin. News 11.
He had a kid. Kid had a scholarship with LSU, and LSU backed out on him. So like once they commit, they don't talk to any other coaches. So like I think he ended up committing at like Ole Miss or something. But yeah, it's a really, really good show.
Wow. So any deep thoughts from Bears Twitter?
Good reminder too that Wyatt said throwing shade.
Oh.
I mean, Bears Twitter has just basically descended back into the 7th level of Foles and Trubisky hell. I mean, like it's fully gone just right back into. I mean, you know, like it's just it's into the abyss. Like it's absolutely.
I've just been looking for the PS5 updates on Twitter. I've been staying out of the Bears.
Yeah, like I mean, every player that's left the Bears is now due to be a Hall of Famer. Like I heard how Bryce Callahan is supposedly having an All-Pro season. You know, like I mean, here's
a little tidbit, very interesting. The Bears are on pace for a 3rd straight season without a 1,000-yard rusher, which hasn't happened since the early '90s. We're used to the ineptitude at the quarterback position. But this is unfamiliar territory.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're turning into the Lions with regards to running the ball.
Right on, Chris.
What did Chris say? Oh, right on. That's your boy.
Thanks for stopping in, bud.
Yeah, thanks, man.
But what do you say? Anything else you want to touch on? We got to throw some shade at people.
You got anybody you want to throw shade at?
Yeah, bust your screen, bro. Like, wait. Talk about a guy not playing up to his contract. My goodness, like, it might be time for Duke Shelley. That might be an improvement.
Well, what's it going to take though to get to that point? Like again, we have to.
They have to get that right.
Like a triple emergency to ever even see these dudes play.
There's been a lot of communication issues with our defensive backs.
Yeah, well, Buster Screen also has a lot of technique issues.
Yeah, I mean it's close, but it's just like he's just misses, you know.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like everybody was like, "Oh, he was so tight in coverage on that touchdown," and it's like, yeah, but he played it completely wrong, and he fouled the guy, which they could have called. And he didn't turn inside. Like, I'm not a cornerback expert, but I read enough comments on it that he should have. If he turns inside, honestly, it's an interception. Like, if you're going to play that outside leverage and use the sideline to help you, then when the throw comes, you turn inside. Like that's what would make sense. I don't know. Like,
you remember Dre's Chronic album, Mr. Buster? Where the fuck you at?
Yeah. I mean, the problem is that honestly, like everybody else in the secondary is playing really well, so somebody's gonna get targeted. And I mean, he's him and Jalen Johnson have drawn the targets. Nobody's
Okay.
targeting Fuller. You know,
Not
'cause it's
much.
too dangerous. But Fuller did get smoked a couple times. I mean, Fuller,
that.
as great as he is, gives up 2 big plays a game every game. Every game.
It's just a matter of completing a pass or not.
Yeah. And listen, I mean, they're on the field a lot. I get it. But
Most
like
in the
you
NFL.
can't have those lapses. Like, and that's unfortunate is that we're in a position where the defense has to be perfect. But Buster Screen has a lapse every single time. Like he's giving
They
up
were
100.
attacking screen though.
Yes, of course they were, and we knew they would. And this is my problem: is that as good as Fuller is, he doesn't come help. Like you know, you need to be able to say, Fuller, go in the slot. Fuller needs to see what's going on and adjust, but he doesn't. He's just, I'm going to play off, and this is what I do, and I'm
Safeties
Kyle
need to be
Fuller
ready
on
for
my
that
island.
too. Safeties need to be ready for that too.
So
Yeah, but
Nightshade, Robert Quinn. I'm talking about Mr. Buster. Where the fuck you at?
Who?
Lots of money.
Bum.
Robert Quinn.
Bum.
Bum ass Quins. Can't do anything with
Yeah.
him.
Hogue was trying to suggest that he had, or somebody was trying to suggest that he might have COVID. It wasn't Hogue, it was Abdallah. Trying to suggest that I'm like, no, he has no excuses, man. Like, dude put up big numbers and finessed us, like, and got paid off those numbers. Like, and you know, and what, you know, everybody's like,
Remember the visions we had in our head of those two just freaking destroying the NFL? Quinn and Mac were like, oh man, it's gonna be ridiculous.
like Quinn's out there playing like it's like a pickup game in his sweatshirt. Like, come on, man, what was he happening? He's like torn white t-shirt, sweatshirt.
I think it goes back to the theory that you brought up earlier. It's like Dallas let him walk pretty easily.
Well, they had money problems. They were pissed that he left. At least the fan base was. They let him leave because they couldn't afford him. I think they would have totally re-signed him. But I don't know. I think something's up. Like, I think he was hurt. I mean, and Monachino said they've been, you know, he was on a very strict snap count, and now they're finally getting to the point where, you know, but then he's like, oh, well, he just needs to make one play before he can make a bunch of plays. It's like, yeah, he knows, you know, it's like this, the standard excuse from that coaching staff is they know they suck, but they care, and they're trying. So fucking what? Like, I don't want to hear that shit. These are not my kids at AYSO soccer. Like, I don't fucking care that they care. I'd rather have a bunch of assholes who don't care, because at the end of the day, they still suck. So they might as well be assholes.
That's why I would like a Harbaugh personality. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be Harbaugh, but be like, you know what? They're playing like shit. Like,
I don't want to hear that shit. Like, miss me with all the feel good shit. And the PR department is still pumping out. Like, I don't want to see Tayshaun Gibson mic'd up. We fucking lost, and we've lost 4 games in a row. Cut the shit off. Like, cut the fucking PR shit off. I don't want to hear about the lyrical lemonade jackets.
That's part of the reason I think that's just a whack asshole. The whole movement is weird.
It's cornball. It's cornball as hell. And this team is like, cut the TikTok shit. Like, we're not here for it. Like, you suck. So don't come around here with all the TikTok bullshit. Like, I'm not into it. Like, that's my issue. Is like, you know, I don't care that they care. It doesn't mean
everybody's sitting here
me.
defending Eddie when you were just throwing up that he didn't play well, right? So, like, you know what though? If the fans were in the stands, I don't think you'd have the same perspective, because Eddie would be like, "You guys shouldn't be booing."
Oh,
us.
absolutely. Eddie would have been hit in the head with a soda, like. You know, like, I mean, or Miller Lite.
That the fans are in the freaking stand. Think about that. They're playing like this without any fan sound. Like, it's piped in sound, but fans aren't even like a factor, and we're playing this bad. Imagine how bad the quarterback play would be when the stadium's so loud you can barely hear. They're having confusion without fucking loud ass stadiums.
Yeah.
I know, it's embarrassing. Like it just
We're the most
that's what I'm saying
penalized
is,
team
like,
in a year where there can't be fans in the fucking stands to even like be so loud that you can't fucking
now
hear.
I will say I don't want to
Think
give
about
any,
that. Imagine how much worse
I
it would
know,
be.
but I don't want to give any credit really. That's because fuck all that. But they have cut down on the penalties during this losing streak. Like they've actually cut down on them.
They're still leading the league.
Like it's actually, if you're only on the field for 50 plays, you're naturally going to cut down on your penalties. And then maybe they figure something out there. Like, if the offense is not on the field, like,
I mean, we'll break down the matchup against Green Bay because I really think we're going to bounce back, fellas. What about you?
get the fuck out. Well, so what happens?
They need to flex that Bucks game to the night game. Don't make us suffer, NFL. Please do a flex.
Oh, that's not going to happen. It's going to be
the oldest rivalry in the NFL.
Yeah.
Who are the
they're
Bucks?
giving
The
it
Bucks
to
are.
us.
It would be Brady versus another big quarterback. I don't know if it's Wilson.
Bro, it's going to be so ugly. Aaron Rodgers is going to stomp our ass. It's going to be ugly. Like, I don't care who starts.
Oh no, it's Chiefs Bucks. I think that should be the flex.
I hope so, but
When can you
That
start
has to
flexing?
be flex already. I don't know if they will flex with COVID, but
why wouldn't they? It's easier to flex. That's easier. That makes everything
Mahomes,
easier. 'Cause
Brady
there's no
definitely has-
fans.
yeah.
Yes, thank you. If that doesn't happen, I'm gonna be mad now. Wyatt says Eddie Jackson is my shade.
I mean, you don't get to throw shade here.
Yeah, fuck off. You won. Your team's on the come up. I don't
That's
want to
cool.
hear about
They-
your shade.
They still behind us in the standings though.
But Eddie Jackson straight up can't tackle. Like straight up cannot.
No, he can. He's capable of it.
But he does not like to get his nose in there. Like
But that's not what we should be asking him to do anyway, as a center fielder.
Bro, he's a $15 million. Tell me about how Ed Reed didn't tackle. Come on, like
That's different
that
players,
can't
man.
be. Like you cannot tell me that we can't put Eddie Jackson in a position where he has to tackle. Come on,
say
man.
that. I just said he's not going to be that like Amos type blaster.
He needs to make some plays though. Like, and I thought that last year would actually help him become a more well-rounded safety because honestly, like he had to come up, and make some plays. Well, he's got to come up and make plays this year.
Better pass rush for all these defensive backs to have a little break.
Well, that's where it's got to start for the
No,
defense.
but nobody's letting us get home. Like
It starts up front on both sides of the ball, and our up front hasn't been that good on either side of the ball.
If I'm Chuck Pagano, I think it's time to just take the gloves off and say, "Send it, fuck it."
I'm saying
You
you
ever
want
get beat or like
I agree. He's got to blitz more.
the way this team's going to improve is in the freaking trenches on both sides of the ball.
But that's the thing is that everybody plays like if they get down 10 points, the game's over because basically it is. They have been going into the fourth quarter every game with an average of 9.9 points.
Oof.
So they are entering the fourth quarter of almost every game without double-digit score. So if the other team scores 10 points, the game is over. And that's why everybody is playing like that. Everybody's playing tight as hell. And Pagano is, Pagano's the worst of it.
I did like in the after show where they talked about Matt got the interception, and they discussed, what they used to do is like their whole mantra was get to the numbers and let people get in front of you and block.
Yeah, he headed for the sideline.
Yeah, he headed straight for the sideline. I was like,
Yeah.
That's coached. That's what Levy and them coached. So,
Maybe we should call Cutler out of retirement.
oh, shut up.
They don't, but that's the thing is I just wonder what's actually happening. Like,
I know you like to hate on Jay, but man, I do miss that fact that he would go bowl somebody's ass over and like tell him to fuck off. It was even when we were losing, like he had a swag about him. He had a cannon. Like there's nothing remotely exciting about this offense. At least Jay would
Foles
once in a while make a holy shit throw.
Rooting for Foles just feels so miserable. Like it's just such a, like watching Foles play is so depressing. Like that's like honestly, like I would take Mitch back because at least like the Mitch coaster was exciting.
I would take Mitch back just from his mobility. If his shoulder's good, he definitely has to be put back in, man. There's
but that's what I'm saying is like the Mitch coaster was at least exciting. The Foles coaster is just like it's not even a roller coaster. It's just like it's like one of those fucking kiddie trains at the mall, and every now and then it falls over.
I keep seeing Wyatt talking about Slaughter. I guess I'll have to look at Slaughter film.
Who? Sergeant Slaughter?
Kyle Sloter.
Sloter, bro.
Sloter, bro.
Well, look at, I mean, shit.
Can't be any, well, we didn't draft him, so there's the possibility he's a decent quarterback.
Yeah.
He's so decent, he's on our practice squad.
He's so decent, he got cut by the Vikings. Who's their backup?
I'm sure we'll get a response soon.
Yeah, I don't know who Kirk Cousins' backup even is. Anyway, that's
Kirk Cousins. I thought Kirk Cousins was the backup. Kirk.
Oh wow!
I don't know. I just like.
Let's wrap this monster up.
No matter who starts, it's Tankathon USA. Like I mean, I just don't see either guy turning anything around.
We want real change. It needs to be the real change of getting rid of the GM and the coach. I don't want any
right. And honestly, though, like we need to lose most of the remaining games for that to happen. Right. Like if they go 8-8, 9-7, even if they miss the playoffs, nobody's getting fired in this COVID year. I don't think so. I think that saves people's jobs. I need 6-10 to happen. Like if we want to clean house.
I'm not pulling for that. I always want them to win.
I'd like to see him pull the nose up and make a run. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to protect my.
Oh, I know. I'd like to see it. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen.
Just talking myself into this.
I want to see us win every game, but I also don't want to see us just get to that point where we just keep knocking ourselves back in the draft. And
I mean, but you like, yeah, but that's the thing is like we're not gonna beat the Packers in Green Bay. I mean, you're smoking fucking glass if you think that's gonna happen, bro. You can't spin that. No fucking way. There's
division games. Division games get weird, bro.
That on a Thanksgiving night, when nobody thought the Bears had a chance in hell, the Bears went up to Lambeau Field
on Favre night.
On Favre night,
Cuddy does it.
Cuddy.
Yeah, when we got no offense with any kind of.
We didn't have any offense or defense then.
Yeah, Cutler.
They were terrible. We scored 17 points and won.
Bro, it's so unlikely.
Something like that. Anyway,
division games are weird though. You can never.
But here's the thing: is that the only way that the season turns around is if that happens. You could. I'm willing to believe that if somehow, some way they go up there and the offense, whoever is the quarterback, looks functional, and let's say they win 24-23, okay, and the offense does some shit, they could that could be a wave of momentum that would carry them to something. But then what do you get? Like, I mean, like, what happens?
Get a chance, man. That's all you can have
to do. Fucking what?
Win it all. You get in the playoffs. You get a chance.
No.
Yeah.
Did you see Wyatt's comment in the chat about?
It's just like a lottery ticket for heartbreak.
He's talking about watching Slaughter tape.
Slaughter. Do they even have Slaughter tape? Like,
I don't know. I think I'm
gonna tape him.
I'm gonna watch I like to review Pornhub tape just to
Slaughter bait.
Check out technique and
Slaughter bait. I'm not gonna slaughter bait Wyatt. Not to Kyle Slaughter.
No, but it's like, man, you get in the playoffs, shit happens, man. Once the Eagles do it. And I know it. I know it was once in a lifetime.
Tell me about the Giants. Okay, I get it, man. Like, I get it. But this team is like the offense is next level atrocious, Chair.
Oh, I agree.
Like it is soul sucking.
But if
Like,
they can
it's-
find a way and figure it out, there's never. You're right. There's no way. I'm not even going to talk myself into
Bro,
it.
like, I mean, if Daniels was healthy and if the offensive line was healthy, then maybe
I'm just saying,
there
man.
would be a
Things
chance.
happen. You find a way to win in Green Bay, and you get that mindset switched because you just beat the fucking Packers. Who knows? Maybe the defense turns it
As
up.
I said, if somehow they can pull this gigantic upset, and let's say Mitch comes back, and all of a sudden it's like we get old Mitch, Mitch plays like he played against the Cowboys, and or whatever. Even Mitch plays like he played
What if
against the Packers.
What if we busted out the T formation and ran it right down their throat?
Fuck all that cute shit. Just play regular football.
They suck at stopping the run.
I know, but nobody runs T formation. Like, just like.
Crazy shit.
I agree that would be that if you're a smart football coach, not named Matt Nagy,
No, if
The
that starts
way that
working, he'll
you-
get away from it.
the way that you do that is yes, you run the ball all day against them, and you run it again, and that's what killed me about Laser. And I should have probably known this because it's not like he was like a cloud of dust guy. But if you're going to go 3 and out, there's so much more value in going 3 and out with 3 straight runs than anything else, because at least you make the defense think about it. You know what I mean? Like, at least you go, oh shit. Like, they go, oh shit, they're running the ball today.
Yep.
So next time,
This
at
is for
least if you
Wyatt.
go 3 and out with 3 straight runs,
You see it? No stats available.
yeah, then Bro doesn't even have stats.
Pretty. Not even a stat.
Like, you go to his Pro Football Reference page and it's like under construction.
Yeah, it's like
Go-
26,
GoDaddy.com.
26 years old, no,
Yeah.
not even a snap.
Yeah, like
You go watch
Sloter.
that tape.
Sloter tape. I'd rather watch Kurt Loder play a fucking quarterback than Kyle Sloter. You don't even know who that is, Wyatt. Anyway,
Total MTV reference.
yeah, Wyatt doesn't know who Coach.
Oh, he sent you the film. It's
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's coming. The 16 millimeter film. It's the
That's
fucking.
what she said.
The Zapruder film. Like, it's on its way. Fuck out of here.
All right, let's end this shit.
That's all I'm
Bears,
saying.
we fixed them. We have fixed the Bears, folks. If you made it to this point in the show, congratulations.
New
You
GM,
are-
new coach. That's
We
what-
fixed them to do what? The GM, Louis Riddick. The coach, John Harbaugh.
Yeah, you.
The
whatever.
offensive
Jim.
coordinator is
I would take John Harbaugh over Jim.
okay.
actually,
Jim
yeah.
Harbaugh.
No, John's.
We want John or Jim. We want Jim.
Oh, we want John, but we'll
We
take.
can't
Jim.
have John.
Everybody
Can't have
wants John.
Talk shit, but I don't see a better option. You're a Vikings fan, Wyatt.
We
You
don't.
did a good
we-
job
we
on the
don't-
show last week. Don't get a big head.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. Relax.
And next Thursday, something's going on. So we're probably not. We're doing our game preview maybe earlier in the week. I'll
Yeah.
figure
Yeah,
that
no,
out.
we'll figure it. We'll
did
play
it.
it later.
All right. Well, if we don't see everyone, I hope everyone has a really good Thanksgiving, especially in time
Yeah.
like this. Like we
Yeah,
need
stay the
that.
fuck away from people. Have a great Thanksgiving, but
Yeah,
stay
enjoy
the
your
fuck away
families.
from people.
Do whatever you do, but be safe about it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
God damn it. Wear your mask.
Gobble gobble till you wobble.
This is another episode of The Tailgate Show.
The change is coming.
The fuck, man. I don't know what to say about that.
All we have to hope for is an Indiana Notre Dame playoff.
The touchdown, Jesus, going down.
Hey, so yeah, like Bobby Knight's gonna throw a folding chair at touchdown.
Goddamn
Jesus.
IU would get so worked up if they had even stepped foot on that campus.